supply chain, consulting, warehouse operational, market share, revenue, material handling, sales, transportation.
It's the end of the week. It's the end of the week. It's the end of the week. It's the end.
안녕하세요, Min-sang.
안녕하세요.
How are you doing?
I'm very good. How are you?
Great. It's the end of the week, so how can we not be happy?
Today is Friday.
Yes. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well,
here.
we're very happy to have you. We're sorry that your colleague Yasmina, who is here too, could not join us, but duty calls, right? You gotta, work comes first.
I am, on behalf of the Korea office, I will be speaking out in front, on behalf of
So for everyone, I mean, I think everybody in the company has heard of Min-sang, but for those who don't, you are a consultant in our Lid Korea office.
Yes, my name is Min-sang from Lead Korea office. I'm in consulting practice as a junior consultant.
You've been at Lid Korea for how long?
It's been now 9 months and soon it's gonna be 10 months.
Whoa, so
Time.
long.
Yes, not a year yet, but soon to be. And yeah, I can't believe the time is flying really quick.
It's awesome. And we want to know, give us a bit of your background. So how did you give us your whole life story, but don't take more than 30 seconds or it gets boring.
Right, yeah. Making long story short, many people ask me this question, where did you get this English? Because usually you wouldn't expect a Korean person to speak English, usually.
You speak pretty good English for Korean.
Thank you.
Yes.
And yeah, because I studied in Poland high school, and I went to a high school in Poland, in Warsaw.
Amazing. Why Poland?
Yeah, also that's a common question everyone asks me because I wanted to study abroad first of all, and I had a lot of options to choose among these countries in the world, but as me at that age I was 16 actually, in international age, and you always need a guardian. Legally it's not possible to go abroad alone, but my parents could not follow me with me, so I needed a guardian, and luckily I had a cousin who was in Poland who could replace and act as a guardian. So
okay, so you sort of were forced. And is Warsaw a beautiful city?
it is. I still liked it, but I heard it was way more beautiful before the war.
Okay.
Yeah, because many parts were broken down.
Okay, so you went to high school in Poland.
Poland, yeah.
And then university?
University in Germany, Hamburg.
And you studied?
I studied supply chain management.
Now remind everyone, where's Hamburg relative to the German country?
Yeah, Hamburg is located in the middle north part of Germany.
Near the coast.
Near the coast, near Denmark.
Right, and it's a city of canals.
Yes, it is.
And the city of the Beatles, where they trained for night after night for years and became the greatest rock band in history.
They are known for that.
And did you like German food?
I loved actually.
I bet. I can tell, Min-sang. You know?
I love
you take after me a little bit, so I can tell you like German food. So then, why did you go into supply chain in university?
My decision to study supply chain management was made during my military service in Korea.
Oh, as everyone who doesn't know, all men
in Korea,
under the age of 30
exactly,
must do a military service, because technically Korea is still at war.
It is.
And there's no peace. So you're all conscripted.
Right.
And then you get to choose, though, which branch you go into, and you chose.
Exactly. I chose a special force, a special
Special
command.
Forces. Min-sang, this is the coolest thing about you.
Yes, I chose.
But you can't choose special forces. They're not going to accept anybody.
Yes, you have to go through 3 exams. There are 3 tests. One, you have to pass your CV, your documentation should be accepted. And second, you of course have to pass your physical test,
Yes.
push-ups, running, and all you have to pass. And then as the last, you have to pass the interviews. And
If we got into a hand-to-hand combat right now, could you incapacitate me? Could you knock me on the ground with your special forces training?
well, yeah, 2 seconds I can.
I believe it. I believe it. Okay, so what? So you're doing special forces. Then you got interested in logistics because.
Well, it's, my decision for studying logistics is not really related to my special force.
Oh, but you had told that you started the story by saying it was while you were in the military.
Yeah, I was.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was during my military services because you have a lot of free time. And at the
Yeah,
time,
right.
at the time,
At night in the barracks. Or
exactly.
something?
Not
Yeah.
at night, you are guarding your base at
Yes,
the gate
yes.
from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. and
Ugh.
you have nothing to do.
Right.
You just hear nothing.
That which is good.
Yeah, that's good. Because at the time, not like nowadays, I didn't have my cell phone because it wasn't allowed.
Because you weren't allowed to have your cell phone.
Yeah, you were not allowed because of the security.
How do kids live without their cell phones? It's actually probably good. Everyone should go through that.
Yeah, because you really get to learn how valuable your life is without being connected to internet.
Yeah.
At the beginning, you get shocked because you have nothing to do.
Yeah, you have no idea.
In 1 minute, you get bored and you
Yes.
have nothing to do.
Yes.
But then you get to talk to your comrades.
Yes.
And that was a really good experience. And there you start to talk about, okay, what am I going to do after the service?
Yeah.
And this conversation I continued throughout 2 years. And my decision, at the end of my thoughts and my consideration on this topic, I decided to study supply chain management because Korea is a country where there is no natural resources available.
Correct.
And it's really, Korea is a highly, their growth is really based on human resources.
Yeah. And industrial activity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, there is a city called Busan.
Busan.
Many people might be aware of.
Yeah, of course. Train to
And-
Busan, one of the great zombie
The
movies
zombie
of all
movies,
time.
right? And Busan, for example, my mom's family is from Busan, so
Oh.
I lived in Busan for 5 years. So
부산 부산이 살아요.
yes,
Oh,
Busan 살았어요.
그러세요.
So I had indirect contact to see how ports are being operated, and I was always fascinated. And since knowing that Korea is really, their GDP growth is highly based on international trade and its logistics operations, then I thought in the future Korea will still be relying on those.
That will always be
Exactly.
a critical skill set to the Korean economy.
Exactly. So
Very smart. Very smart.
wanted to be in the industry where there is a demand, and that's how I chose. And then I chose, okay, let me study this field, this industry, supply chain, but not in Korea because I wanted to study in English. I wanted to continue my education in English. Then I was searching on Google, okay, which cities are famous or known for logistics and supply chain. But I wanted to go to Europe. So in Europe, there are 2 or 3 candidates, and there were 2, 3, and then there was Rotterdam in Netherlands, and the second was Hamburg in Germany. But I preferred, I like German Bundesliga, the soccer league.
German soccer wins the day. Well, that's great. I will point out, just for you, you know, even when you come from a country abundant in natural resources, as Canada is, supply chain and logistics is an essential need everywhere. You know, in fact, when I was a mining engineering student, my final project, because everyone has to finish with a research project, my final project was on truck productivity in an iron mine, and improving the cycle time in how the trucks are performing. So it's funny, I didn't even know it at that time, but I stumbled into
Right.
logistics and industrial engineering all the way back there. So now, right now, I see they write me notes, okay, but they make them so small that I have to squint, and so I'm not sure what the question is. But what have you learned? So here's a question that comes from our team. What have you learned about working at Lid Korea? Now that you have, well, first off, let's follow our own questions.
Right.
Why are you here? So you're from Seoul.
Right.
You live in Seoul. You've come to Montreal. Why have you come to Montreal to the mothership, to headquarters?
I'm here right now is sitting in Montreal to get trained because now there is a huge project,
Yes.
an ongoing project
Yes.
in Korea,
Yes.
and for that project so I wanted to get trained, and thankfully I am given with this opportunity to get trained
Yeah.
so that I can be a helpful resources.
Right. So let's be clear. The project is we're implementing
Right.
a warehouse management system, the Solo Chain system, at Fasto,
At Fasto.
right? And Fasto, of course, has many different warehouses, and
Right.
each one has a separate go live event.
Exactly.
And then once after you've gone live, so it's operating there still is continuous work to be done to keep it running and to improve it and to new configurations.
Right.
And so you're here to be trained in depth on Solo Chain. You already knew quite a bit before you got here,
Right.
but to get that deeper so that you can just be more have more impact when you're on the shop floor, when you're in Youngin 1 and Youngin 2, but
Exactly.
soon to be Youngin 1.
Exactly.
Right?
That's
And
exactly right.
how do you feel from the start of the 2 weeks to today? If you were at a 5, where are you at the end of the 2 weeks?
Comparing myself to 2 weeks before,
Yeah.
of course, the time of 2 weeks is not long enough. It's not enough to understand a software such
As
Solo
complex
Chain,
as
a
Solo Chain.
complex.
Of course not.
Of course, but I can say before the training, I was a translator. What my colleagues are speaking to me in English,
Right.
I deliver in Korean to
Right.
our customer Fasto.
Yes.
But right now, after the 2 weeks of training, it's not only the translation.
Yes.
But I get to think
Yes.
where this source of the solution is coming from, because I
Yes.
get to configure myself,
Yes.
get to investigate stuff
Yes.
myself. With that, I can actually, it really improves the quality of the
100%.
the word
Yep.
I'm speaking out to my end
Yep.
customer. And that's very helpful.
And then once you go back and you hit the ground, it's going to explode with learning.
Exactly.
And are you enjoying this? Is it a fascinating subject to you?
I am enjoying actually, because I could not imagine myself being in a project where implementing a software
Yep.
in a warehouse.
Yes.
And before I couldn't imagine, because I couldn't imagine how fun it's gonna be because I have no background on that. But now, yeah, being in that project with lots of lovely colleagues and also lots of good food, and yeah, I'm enjoying implementing processes on site with my.
Now, I will say, Min-sang, just thinking back to what you said, of all the parts of the supply chain,
Right.
technology and software is almost the most valuable long-term skill set to bring to bear. So
Right.
it's still true to your original vision when you're sitting in a guard post at 2 a.m. It's still very much in tune with that.
Right.
What have you, now that you were here for 2 weeks, you're thinking back to what are the differences you noticed between the offices? What are some of the things?
Well, the
You're
great.
free of Yoongu. Yoongu's not yelling at you or bossing you around. That's one good thing.
Well, I'm sorry for Yunku, but I have to emphasize. Well, yeah, well, free of
We are
Yunku is.
teasing Yoongu.
Well, of course, being with Yunku is, of course, I love the time spending, but
Unless you're doing karaoke because he scores too high.
I haven't been to a karaoke yet.
With
but I'm-
Yungu?
With Yunku.
So you have no idea that he's got this rocker voice that
But I can imagine from
oh
his
my
voice.
god,
but
it's crazy.
So I'm trying to do that actually this year. That's some
You have to. It's an
And-
experience.
And yeah, I kind of miss driving with Yunko as well because
That's something I do not ever miss.
those people who have been into a car with Yunko driving from Seoul to Yongin Center, to our customer site, it's at the beginning I was about to throw up because you never know when it's gonna break.
No, it's terrifying.
Yeah, but I'm used to it now, so I'm getting better with that. So yeah, the difference between the two offices, I think the biggest difference is the how colleagues are interacting each other. I was very surprised when I first arrived the office in Montreal that all the rooms are opened. Even your room is open.
Like
And
the door?
The doors, yeah, I mean, yeah, the room doors are open and everyone is.
It's still got an electric shock. If you walk through it, it's going to buzz you.
I'm still alive because I haven't tried yet. So that's I was very impressed by seeing that everyone is free to start a conversation with anybody.
Oh, it has nothing to do with that. It's because the ventilation's so bad in the offices that we
Right,
leave the
that's
door
right.
open so we don't get too stuffy.
That's why.
Right.
So
We try and make sure that everyone is always,
Right.
because if you've got a problem that you need to solve and you can't find Angie or you can't find JP, if I can help, it's better for the company if I can help solve your problem quick rather than have you wait 45 minutes, 3 hours for that person. So
Right.
we try and keep that going. Yes.
and also because today's Friday, it's a donut day. I
Yes.
don't know how you call it. And I
Donut
think
day is
I-
exactly how I call it.
I really like that strategy, or maybe I shouldn't call it strategy because having donut in a center of the office in the middle of kitchen, everyone gets to come to the kitchen to grab your donut. And at that moment, you encounter so many other people from different
From all the different practices, and
Exactly.
you just yes.
There's
absolutely.
no difference. You are just the same category of people coming for donuts.
But Minsing, I don't think you understand though. If the apple fritters are gone by the time I show up to get my donut,
Right.
then it's total anger.
And, yeah.
Let's move on. I think that's wonderful. Have you had any memorable team building exercises?
Yes. I think is it called Cincaset?
Yes.
Cincaset?
So that's French for 5 to 7, happy hour.
Happy hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had that last Wednesday, and everyone was coming in a room
Yep.
playing
Upstairs.
upstairs,
Yep.
playing ping pong, drink beers during the work time. That was very surprising.
During work time.
Oh.
No, annual.
I didn't
It's
say.
5 to 7. That's what 5 à 7.
All right, it's
It
5.
starts at 5. Are
True.
you ratting out your teammates
No.
who might have started their party a few minutes early?
No, I started a few minutes early, but
Well, for you, 5 p.m. is 6 a.m. So
That
you
is-
started very early. That's very
That is. And that was very impressive for me also to see everyone coming again in the room and they start chatting. It doesn't matter which team you are coming from. You share your.
It's so important because we have teams that are working on sometimes the same client or
Right.
different clients, but there's so much to learn from each other. That's number
Exactly.
one. And then consulting's very hard, as you know.
Yeah.
There are deadlines,
Right.
there's stress, and so when you have those opportunities to sort of relax and remind each other that this is exciting and we love each other and you can have that time together, it helps build a community.
Right.
So that when you do go through tough, hard deadlines and hard work, that you're doing it with people that it's like in the military, right?
Yeah,
You want your unit to be bonded so that they're working towards. We're not that different, except we don't shoot people. We shoot barcodes with RF.
You trigger it.
Yeah, with the radio frequency.
But yeah, because every team has different way of approach to a same topic, and it's very interesting to hear how they think
Yep.
regarding the same topic.
Yep.
And that's what also I'm really enjoying at Warehouse Technology team right now in this project, because before I was always doing SAS analysis.
Yes.
And in
Well,
consulting
you
projects.
make that sound bad. It's great.
It is
I'm
great.
just kidding, yeah.
But Yunku thankfully taught me very well, because I
Yes.
struggled a lot in the
He's one of the best.
I struggled quite a lot in the beginning, but yeah, he really taught me very well. And then, but the way of thinking is very different
Right.
from different team.
Right.
And I'm learning a lot from that perspective as
Right, and what we need to do a better job of is making sure that both sides are listening to each other, because there's something to learn from each side, and that's kind of what I'm jealous about when it comes to you, because so early in your time at Lid, you're being thrown into both, and I have a research assignment that I'm going to give you when you get home. I'll save that for our Monday night calls.
well. All right.
to help me prepare for a speech I have to give in September, which is going to be based on the food service distribution industry in Korea. And so we'll talk about that. But that's another opportunity where you get to learn how different
I'm
people.
open to that.
Yeah. So you went, while you're here, you got to visit some warehouses.
Yes, I've been to 5 warehouses.
Wow, that many. Let me ask you this. What are some of the key differences between what you saw in terms of warehouses in Canada versus warehouses in Korea?
The warehouses that I've been in Korea is usually Fasto.
Yeah.
And the difference is that their business feature is different because Fasto is a 3PL.
It's a 3PL, yeah.
Right. It's a 3PL.
And direct to consumer focused.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And whereas the customer sites that I have been here in Montreal, they have ownership on their goods. So it's not a 3PL.
Correct. They own the inventory.
Yes, exactly. They own the inventory. So that's a really big difference.
Yep.
And that can really make a big difference in terms of the way how they operate. But in general, what I think of course, in terms of layout and overall, how the zones are configured, and they are very similar, but
Well, because the Fasto warehouses are largely lid designed, so they would
exactly.
be. Yeah.
But the people, I think that's the biggest difference. People, the human resources who are working at the warehouses, because in Korea, we call end users who come to work, who come to pick and replenish on site on the floor. In Korea, they are daily.
They're temporary workers.
They are temporary workers.
They're staffed from a hiring agency,
Exactly.
and they're not permanent employees of the company like Fasto or whoever.
Right. Whereas the customer sites I've been in Montreal.
Yeah, we hire our staff. Yes.
Yes, I think that really creates big difference.
And in what way?
In terms of, I would say productivity as well, because
it's easier once you have somebody that you know is there for the next 3 months, 6 months, 8 years, 12, 20 years.
Yeah.
They can learn and grow and become better on the job a lot easier.
Yeah,
That's really interesting.
Yeah, I saw some pickers who know by heart which item is in which location. They know by heart.
Yeah.
Whereas that's not gonna be the case in Korea.
Right. Okay, that's really interesting. So here we are. We're right on the 21-minute mark. We try and normally zip it. So, very quickly, favorite thing in Montreal. Go.
Favorite thing. Atwater.
Atwater Market. Excellent choice.
I loved it.
You see, a man after my own heart, you know, he enjoys his food.
Atwater was beautiful.
Do you like cheese?
I love cheese.
All cheeses?
No, I hate blue cheese.
Of course you hate blue cheese.
Do you like blue cheese?
Of course I love blue cheese.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's not my favorite thing, but I love it. I eat pounds of it.
Oh.
So you didn't go into a cheese shop?
I went into one, but
Yes.
I couldn't tell what's the difference because they look similar, but they have different names, and they were written in French, so I couldn't.
I wish I'd been with you. I would have been so happy to walk you through that. Well, next time you'll come, and we'll make a special trip to Atwater Market.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here, Min Sang, and good luck with your trip home.
Thank you a lot.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye bye.